Run it back, boys. Sean Strickland and Dricus Du Plessis #2. A rematch that, do we really need? They're headlining UFC 312. They're in Australia. I have no idea. This card, absolutely terrible, especially for a pay-per-view. But here we are today, and we're going to talk about it. UFC 312. Top two fights are good. You know, you got Kong Wayne back, but we got Dricus Du Plessis, the unlikely champion. It's a really weird situation with Dricus, who you watch him fight, and you're like, I don't know if he's the worst best fighter the UFC's ever seen, or the best worst fighter. He's right there. He's good, guys, but he's not. The thing is, like, he doesn't fight technical. He has horrible punching mechanics, but he hits like a brick house, and he just finds ways to win. And it's crazy too, because if you look at his resume, it's like, this guy's beaten 3 champions in a row: Rob Whittaker, Sean Strickland, and Israel Adesanya. Now, it's like Rob Whittaker and Izzy, that's kind of like, you know, we're not sure where they're at in their career yet. They might be washed, they might not be. But regardless of the fact, like, those are tricky fights for a fighter like Dricus Du Plessis, who's struggled in the past with these kinds of fighters. Think about the Darren Till fight when Till was teeing off on him. But Du Plessis literally just like finds a way to win consistently. If he's down on the scorecards, he's gonna go find a finish, like choking out Israel Adesanya, or he'll just keep it close like he did with Sean Strickland. So he's a very unlikely champion, but he has some really good things about him. Like, for example, his grappling. Mwah! He's beautiful on his grappling. Like, he's strong. He has good big man grappling. The Toesy Pass, Jack Slack just released a video on the Toesy Pass, basically because Dricus is fighting, and you know, he uses this pass because he's such a big guy for 185. I think he was weighing, what, 230 walking around, which is Alex Pereira's size, right? Like, Pereira's that weight right now, several weeks out from his fight with Magomed Ankalaev. So Dricus Du Plessis, he may not be the most beautiful fighting, like, he's a handsome fella, don't get me wrong, guys, but like, he may not be the most technical fighter in like a mechanic sense, but when he decides to go, when he wants to go, when he knows he needs to find a way to win, he finds those ways. Like, how old is Dricus? Let's look over here at the web real quick to see, because like, he's 22-2, you know, he's got good losses. How old is he? 31 years old. So, you know, at 185, that's not a death wish. His only losses to Roberto Soldic and Gareth McClellan back in 2014. Soldic, good fighter back in KSW, like, but he's come up and he's fought the who's who of 185, which is crazy. Like, he made his UFC debut against, you know, Marcus Perez and then fought Trevin Giles and such, but quick step up in competition. Brad Tavares makes everybody look bad. He won that decision. The Darren Till fight, Till was teeing off on him until, you know, Dricus started beating him up. Brunson was a you know, perennial gatekeeper, and they like really ratcheted up the competition. Robert Whittaker, Sean Strickland, and now Israel Adesanya. It's crazy to me how somebody that doesn't look like they're fighting like Dricus can win consistently the way he does. He's never lost in the UFC. So, yeah, I don't know, man. Like, it's a weird situation. He has really good wrestling. Didn't use it to that much against Sean Strickland. That first round, Strickland really, you know, made him pay dearly for trying to get a takedown. You know, 19 seconds of control time and no damage. What's that going to do for Dricus, you know? And it's like way more energy expended than it took to keep Sean Strickland. Like, Sean Strickland getting up cost way too much energy, and Sean didn't lose any whatsoever. So, like, this fight, you know, it's a weird one. It's waiting in the wings. It's kind of one of those fights that's like, okay, yeah, I guess we can do this. Let's go ahead and do it, guys. Run it back. Let's get Sean Strickland out the way before we get to the Hamzat Chimaevs and the Nasruddin Imovs to the next generation, because this is kind of, you know, like, Dricus isn't really the next generation or the last generation. He's more of the next generation. But at the same time, you know, he finds his ways to win, and I can guarantee you, I really appreciate that. Now, Sean Strickland, can he be champion again? Can he be the king again? That's what's facing him this weekend at UFC 312. Can Sean Strickland become the king. And it's an interesting thing to think about Sean Strickland as a two-time champion like Israel Adesanya or Alex Pereira, kind of, but it was at a different weight. But you get my drift. Like, can Sean Strickland avenge his loss to Dricus? And you look at Sean Strickland and you don't think he's a good fighter whatsoever. Like, he's got his techniques that he does really well. He's really good with that upright. He's really good with the shoulder roll. And he's got fairly good takedown defense. He has the keys to beat Dricus Du Plessis this weekend. The question really is, like, is Sean Strickland too stubborn to beat Dricus Du Plessis? Like, if he goes out there thinking to himself, like, hey, I beat him last fight and they got the wrong call, he can lose that fight again and make it worse, because Dricus is going to make adjustments. If there's one thing Du Plessis is going to do, it's go out there and make adjustments that he needs to do to win a fight. He does it all the time against Whitaker. He's done it against Till. Adesanya, he did it too. He makes really good reads. And if Sean Strickland goes in there and does the same exact thing he did the first fight, looking for the jab and stuff, Dricus is going to build off of what he did. He's going to learn, hey, we might not shoot a takedown early in the open first round, second round, but once we get to that third round, like he did in the fourth, I think it was, he took him down again in that fight and controlled him there a lot. But, like, if Strickland's tired, it's going to be a lot easier, because, like, he got the body lock, remember? He threw him to the ground, and then he tripped him off of the cage. All good things from Dricus Du Plessis. So I really think Sean Strickland has what it takes. So Sean Strickland's going to have to change, and he doesn't have to change that much. Just a few small things. First of all, Sean Strickland has a really good push kick, a really good teep. That should be his number one weapon. So Dricus came out, he looked for the low kick and really wasn't very successful on it. But Sean Strickland has got that little military march that he does, where he picks his legs up really high. He's like, oh, I might teep you, I might not. Israel Adesanya had fits with it. He did. He had so many fits. So Sean Strickland's going to need to do that, and that's such a long weapon to kick into the gut of Dricus Du Plessis. If he can land those body shots, those teeps, I think that can change the fight dramatically. That one small adjustment, that's it. He also needs to be able to find his cross, his two, on those wild swings of Dricus Du Plessis. He shoulder rolled a good bit in the fight, but it wasn't quite as much and as effective because he was worried about the power coming back his way. But Sean Strickland needs to really channel his inner Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather was great at, like, doing the pull counter and, like, boom, boom, like that. Like, off the shoulder roll, getting behind that shoulder, and then coming back with the cross off the natural wind-up of it. And Sean Strickland knows that. He knows how to use the cross. He just has to actually have the confidence to use it against Dricus. He has to know that Dricus is going to come back with something, and I need to bounce it off my shoulder and get mine. Another thing that Sean Strickland needs to do is he does not need to stand in front of Dricus like he did in rounds 3, 4, and 5. Rounds 1, 2, and 3, he was really on the front foot a lot. He was circling out away from the power hand of Dricus, and he got away from that. So, like, in UFC 312, I need to see Sean Strickland go and actually kind of adjust a few things that he does well already. So we know he can do these things. He just has to do them. That's it. That's all I want to see. And I want to see a good competitive fight. We might get it. Tatiana Suarez is here to put on a good competitive fight. She's fighting for the title, finally, against Weili. Now, the problem here is Tatiana Suarez doesn't fight enough. Okay, so this is for the women's strawweight championship, the hardest division in the UFC by far. It's not even close how hard this division is compared to 125 and 135. The talent level's ridiculous. But you go and look at Tatiana Suarez, and, like, I know Dominic Cruz is always like, oh, there's no such thing as ring rust. There's absolutely a thing such as ring rust. Let's go look at Suarez real quick, fellas, because she hasn't fought since 2023. She's had so much of her time robbed away from her from injury and the likes. I don't know if she's going to be able to do it. So, like, remember, she was on this storm here. She beat Alexa Grasso, future champion Alexa Grasso. Let's go back even further. Amanda Cooper. Okay, so her debut was Amanda Cooper. Pereira, future champion Alexa Grasso, two-time champion Carla Esparza. Montana De La Rosa, Nina Nunes, champion Jessica Andrade. But look here. 2019 to 2023, she didn't fight. She fought twice in 23. She didn't fight twice in 2024. Withdrawal against Amanda Lemos and an injury against Verna Jandiroba. She's not been active enough for my liking, guys. Like, you're not going in there at 135. Like, if Kayla Harrison was out had 2 fights in 5 years, like, I'd be like, okay, she doesn't deserve it, but she can go and beat Juliana Pena off that. Like, maybe even off the couch she can go beat Juliana Pena. But we're talking about Zhang Weili here. The best women's fighter, period. Like, let me pull that up too. I actually don't have UFC rankings pulled up because I am never prepared. But let's look at the women's pound for pound real quick. She's the top pound for pound fighter in the UFC for women. She's incredible. And she's fighting Tatiana Suarez. Suarez is going to have to bring her A game this fight. She has to get on top early. She has to smash out early. I'm not saying finish Zhang Weili necessarily early, but she needs to jump out to a quick lead while they're dry. Otherwise, if Zhang Weili gets her feet under her and she's prepared for this fight the way that I think she's going to be, it could be a long night for Tatiana Suarez, who may never see another title shot given the injury problems she's had. 10-0. She's a fantastic fighter. She's so good. She's got such good wrestling, such good ground and pound. But it just doesn't seem like she's been able to stay healthy enough. And it sucks because I thought, everybody thinks Suarez is like the next big deal. And she might be. But this time off, it's not going to do her any favors. This is really Zhang Weili's fight to lose. And that's a bold statement for me. I get it. Hold on now. What do you mean her fight to lose? It's Tatiana Suarez, the female Khabib. Yeah, I get that. But also the inactivity. Let's go over here. Let's go back over to the web. Let's look at her activity since 2019. Okay? So this is around the time that Tatiana Suarez made her debut. She's fighting Andrade. She's fighting Joanna Jędrzejczyk. Fighting Rose Namajunas twice. Joanna Jędrzejczyk again. Carla Esparza. And then she, that run right there, that's a gauntlet right there. Andrade, and this is like Andrade when she was actually not super washed. Andrade, Jędrzejczyk, Namajunas, Jędrzejczyk, Esparza. And I know we don't rate Carla Esparza super high, but she is a 2-time champion. It's name value. Then obviously the Amanda Lemos and the Zhao Zhenyan. I get, Zhang Weili had a little bit of trouble with Yan Zhao Zhan. I get that, and I think part of that was not that Zhang Weili wasn't quite as prepared for this fight as she should have been. Could she have been better on that night? Yes, but I follow her on social media. I see how much she's training. She's always training. I think that fight was Yan Zhao Zhan really rising to the occasion at UFC 300, the biggest stage. I think she was just there to be game, But this fight, I don't see Zhang Weili kind of being like, oh, I'm going to beat you at your own game. I think about when she fought Carla Esparza, and she was like, I'm just going to wrestle you. You're a wrestler? You think you're a wrestler? Let me wrestle you. Or Yan Zhao Zhan, she's like, oh, I'm going to strike with you. Oh, I can't, so now I'm going to take you down. Oh, I can't. It's going to be a harder fight than I thought. No, she's going to come out there. Put your money on it, guys. She's going to come out there and fight a proper fight. She's not none of this John Jones disease where she's like, I'm going to beat you at your game where you're best. I look for Zhang Weili to go out there, use her hands, and deny takedowns. Because if she can start to batter up Tatiana Suarez, she can really go out there and put on an incredibly impressive performance. And if she wins this fight, she could go down as the best female fighter, bar none, right now. Obviously there's the greats like Amanda Nunes and Ronda Rousey. As much as you want to hate on her, she was great in her time. And Zhang Weili has some time to go for that. She got Valentina Shevchenko. But even this week, actually, she talked about, I was going to go up and fight Valentina, the winner of Grasso and Shevchenko after UFC 300, before Valentina, who won the fight and won back her title, before she was injured, because I think Valentina's injured or something like that. So, Zhang Weili's going for great things, and, I really want to see that Valentina fight. It's a tougher fight for her, but I think Zhang really can win that. That's the fight to make after this if she gets past Suarez. So if she gets past Suarez, then like the hype builds up and everybody knows she wants to fight Valentina Shevchenko, everybody's favorite woman fighter right now. That's the move. If you want to be a big star, and like Zhang Weili's on her way there to being a big star, that's the move. That is the move. Anyways, guys, yeah, I don't care for the rest of this card. Like, let's go over to the web real quick and just quickly review it because, you know, Taliesin Teixeira, okay, Jimmy Crute on a main event or a main card in 2025, what? Jake Matthews on a main card in 2025, what? Jack Jenkins, Tom Nolan, Vachislav Borshev, I can't say that. Kong Wang is back, which is really cool. I mean, she got finished in her last fight. She's facing Bruna Brazil. I feel like they're treating her like she didn't lose that fight against Gabriela Fernandez. Alexandre Pantoja, the brother of Ilia Topuria, or Alexandre Pantoja. Listen to me. Alexandre Topuria is the brother of Ilia Topuria. Pantoja. I'm used to talking about, you know, Pantoja, the king. Fighting Thick Boy, Kobe Thickness, if that's how you say his name. Cody Steele, Jurong, Kevin Jussier, Melcav, yeah, like Quillen Scallion and you know, Jubilee, and then Hyung Sung Park. And stop trying to get me to say Mongolian names because it's not gonna happen. I'm not saying that guy's name. I'm not even gonna try it. Y'all know I'm gonna butcher that. Yeah, so horrible card overall. It might turn out to be okay. It might have some really cool finishes, but at the same time, like, meh, you know, it's kind of how I feel about it. Just meh. Full steam ahead on Fight Finder 6. That's coming out soon this month. We'll go and talking about Louisiana wrestling. It's kind of changed a little bit. It's still LSU wrestling, but Louisiana wrestling. That's something you definitely want to get in on because it's my baby. I love it so much. I just have to pet it and put it to sleep. 5 episodes out already. This is the 6th, so watch this playlist. Catch up on all of them.